With the level of assassins attacking the Sakamoto family growing, and the secret behind the bounty on Sakamoto's head no longer hidden from his wife, our characters have nowhere else to go after the events in Sugar Park but straight to the boss of the organization responsible, the Dondenkai. Having defeated both Boiled and Ants, the high-ranking officers sent after them, our heroes prepare for whatever dangers may come next. With both Lu and Shin, although still like oil and water in some aspects, much more dedicated to the family unit now, Sakamoto entrusts them to accompany him on this mission to infiltrate the Dondenkai Headquarters. Taro Sakamoto makes his way to a shady video rental location in order to gain information the only way assassins know how. Through perfectly filmed, plotline adapted, and deep character written cinemas revealing all possible knowledge about anything you could ever possibly need to know about the assassin world. Convenient. After gaining all the intel required, Sakamoto and his employees prepare to infiltrate the Dondenkai and put a stop to all this bounty nonsense, doing the best they can to avoid more bloodshed. Cause, you know, no killing and all. The infiltration of Dondenkai Headquarters proves to be no problem at all. Shin, Taro, and Lu dispatching multiple officers and making their way up the quote-unquote heavily guarded elevator, only needing to shock one single unlucky and also definitely underpaid entry-level worker. The guy watching the cameras is put to sleep. Things are looking pretty good so far. Too good. As they approach the boss's floor, the situation does get even weirder. But once they enter that room, the answer as to why immediately makes their stomachs drop. Oh shit, it's Nagumo. Nagumo is from the Order, and if you don't remember from the last video, we get a much more in-depth look into them in this arc. The elite killing squad of the assassin world, they are a special force within the Japanese Association of Assassins that are tasked specifically with maintaining, unironically, the order in the assassin underworld. The hitmen in this group are some of the most lethal and powerful people on this whole planet, all of different shades and personalities, willing to take the life of others for simply adding onions to risotto, or even attack each other if they feel like they're lying. Heck, they can't even get all of these guys to show up to an official get-together. We get a small glimpse into some of the characters currently holding positions in the group besides Nagumo, but we'll definitely be finding out more about them as the story unfolds. It simply just goes to show, when you have selfish psychopaths all working under one roof, work conditions can definitely get a little hostile. However, when a killer starts running around causing more trouble than them, well, that is cause for concern. Bringing us all back to Nagumo being here in the first place, with everyone rightfully confused, Nagumo looks emotionlessly at the group, admitting coldly he's the one who slaughtered all these people, and unfortunately, Sakamoto and the fam are next. Before any of them can react, Nagumo is just gone, moving so fast you could blink and miss it. Nagumo grabs Shin and swings behind him, a knife aimed up and stabbed directly into his throat. And it was just a prank. Nagumo was fucking with them after justifiably beating the shit out of him. Nagumo reveals the real reason why he's here. Surprisingly enough, it wasn't Nagumo that dealt any of the killing blows. They were all finished by the time he got here. It's actually why they were all taken out that Nagumo is investigating, as this isn't the only large organization of hitmen that's been wiped out over the last couple of months. In fact, over 30 of them have been dismantled, all by one singular person. Normally, the assassin world is pretty cutthroat, no pun intended, and civil wars aren't exactly uncommon. However, for over 100 professional assassins to all be taken out with the exact same calling card left in their wake, an X, has led the Order and everyone familiar with the case to start referring to the perpetrator by his calling card. Sakamoto and his family, despite still attempting to keep their noses out of the assassin world, can't just ignore this. And despite seemingly having nothing to do with Sakamoto, the mass slaughter of assassins all started around the same time as Sakamoto's bounty was cast, almost guaranteeing the two's involvement. Forced right back into square one with no leads and hitmen still coming day by day to make assaults on the convenience store, Sakamoto and family have no choice but to do their best to train and prepare for whatever real threats may come. And rest assured, real threats are definitely coming. In the meantime of any serious events taking place, Sakamoto, Shin, and Lu all play their part in the convenience store while at the same time doing their best to train and hone their skills, all the while handling the random occurrences of day-to-day life and never-ending third-rate assassins showing up to claim Sakamoto's head. Although, they're not all third-rate. Some of them are actually S-tier snipers that are just unaware of how great they actually are. Meet Heisuke Mashimo, a renegade assassin who, after graduating from assassin school, was unable to find a true home to call his own in the hitman world. Finding a hard time excelling in anything other than marksmanship, his whole life, everyone told Heisuke he would never amount to anything if all he was a good shot. Well, everyone except Pisuke, his pet parrot. He thinks Heisuke is pretty fucking cool. Unlike most assassins, Heisuke is defeated upon first introductions without even a fight, as he instantly proves the whole only good at one thing trope by proving he's not even smart enough to realize Taro Sakamoto is standing right in front of him, because he can't tell the difference between fat and skinny Sakamoto. So he gets fooled into leaving the shop. He's so cute. Later, when Heisuke finds Sakamoto and Shin in a paint gun competition, they actually join teams. Again, Heisuke being too dense to realize this Sakamoto is the Taro Sakamoto he's hunting for. After some usual shenanigans and a drunken Lu shatters the illusion for everybody, Heisuke, Shin, and Sakamoto get into an awesome 2v1 gunfight that is just amazing to read through. Although Heisuke isn't the brightest bulb in the box, he proves the title "good shot" is just an understatement, ricocheting bullets and actually putting Sakamoto and Shin onto the defensive, all completely and beautifully put together by Yuto Suzuki's choreography. Pisuke the parrot acts as a long-ranged mirror and allows Heisuke the perfect sight around angles and corners, and using his special bullets, the marksman might even be better than Sakamoto, but he lacks self-confidence, out loud admitting his low self-esteem on the microphone, to where good guy Shin and Sakamoto hear him say it, both of them acknowledging Heisuke's ability, and that's just enough for them to become friends. Also, Sakamoto just completely obliterates Heisuke's rifle from a mile away with just a fucking rock, so yeah, Sakamoto's perfect marksman record still intact. Now a reoccurring character, Heisuke returns to the convenience shop as a regular. Regular freeloader is more like it, but thankfully so, as Heisuke, our new main character, is the one who walks in and starts the plot for the beginning of our next arc. Enter scene left. Taro Sakamoto convenience store. The relationship problems between Shin and Lu are coming to a head again, as the two's bickering becomes too much for either of them to handle. Friends have argued before, but what makes it that much harder than an average friendship is that Shin is a telepath. I mean, imagine you got into an argument with your mom, and she heard that comeback you didn't say, but only thought. It's almost impossible for anyone to have a private thought around Shin, considering he's almost always listening. And Lu, rightfully angry she can't have solace in her own mind when Shin might go a bit too far, she says something she shouldn't, and admits whenever she's around him, she can't feel comfortable. This seems to strike a nerve in Shin, so much so that instead of the normal bickering back and forth, he actually chooses to walk away, something even the dim-witted Heisuke acknowledges is unusual behavior. After Shin leaves and some time passes, I guess Lu comes to that same conclusion, realizing she might have said something she shouldn't have. She's not going to apologize to him, of course. Fuck that, but Lu will just be a little bit nicer to him for the rest of the day when Shin comes back. However, the next people to walk through the door is, for some reason, a group of 5 random astronauts who all take one look at Lu's apron, which I didn't explain before, but she's wearing Shin's apron with his name tag, part of the reason why their argument started in the first place. But these guys don't question that whatsoever and kidnap Lu, assuming she's Shin, throw her in a van, refuse to elaborate, and the arc begins. now stuffed inside the back of a vehicle with a bunch of astronauts packed inside, despite Lu clearly looking nothing like the picture they were given for their target, even going far as to acknowledge not only is the hair color different, but the gender is wrong. The only person with any little sense is the guy driving right now, because he's the first person to straight up ask, "Hey, you guys realize this definitely is not the kid we were supposed to take, right?" The insecure upper management astronaut shouts with confidence, "Bro, her name tag literally says Shin. How much more right could I be?" This guy must be a YouTube commenter. At this point, the reason the astronauts have taken Shin is unsure, but it seems like they don't even know why either. Meanwhile, as the real Shin comes back to the convenience store and notices all this broken glass, he also comes to notice there's an entire Chinese woman missing from behind the counter. Sakamoto and fam also return from Hana's school orientation just in time, and after a short explanation, the two of them are off to go rescue their coworker. Now, don't think about this too much, but thankfully, Sakamoto has GPS trackers installed into every employee's name tag. So, thankfully, they can easily locate Lu. And conveniently enough, we have a motorcycle stashed away for just a cool car chase occasion like this. Meanwhile, the Ginyu Force has finally realized their dumbasses kidnapped the wrong person, as Lu reveals her true name and breaks one of their dumb unnecessary helmets, because frankly, I'm not even sure if it's ever elaborated why they're in costume. Now rightfully realizing someone will probably come looking for the random person they just kidnapped, the two astronauts up front begin inhaling that sweet, sweet copium, thinking they can pass off the whole wrong kid as their correct kidnapping victim. But from the rearview mirror, they have the perfect opportunity to catch Sakamoto's awesome motorcycle jump on his way to cook their asses. Crash landing next to the standard issued child napping van, the astronauts realize this is the real Shin they were meant to kidnap and respond with action. Conveniently, they all have their own little mini bikes and just start hopping out of the van one by one like it's a clown car. Sakamoto and Shin dispose of the lackeys pretty quickly though, Sakamoto kicking one of them over and Shin sticking a piece of wood from a nearby Good Samaritan into the other's wheel. Sakamoto just spins around in a 180 and straight up breaks this man's skull with a motorcycle wheel, so I guess we're just reaching Batman levels of quote-unquote no killing here. But Shin lands on top of the astronaut's van with a slam, demanding Lu's safe return. As the upper management astronaut panics, the only competent one takes center stage, hopping on top of the van and dropping his clown clothes as he reveals himself to be named Seba. He reveals a suit that makes him completely invisible, and in any other series this would probably be pretty lame, but tell that to Shin, because Seba clotheslines his ass onto another nearby car as all of his attacks are completely unseen. The only reason Sakamoto can even tell he's Seba's next target is because a heavy weight suddenly hits the front of his motorbike and grabs Sakamoto's wrist. Thankfully, Sakamoto's assassin instincts respond by choking Seba out, and because Sakamoto's firmly grasping his neck, Seba pops a hole in his fuel tank, rigging it to explode. Both Sakamoto and Shin survive this encounter, but Seba was still able to destroy all their means of tailing them, so they still escape with Lu. Shin reveals through context clues he probably does know where they're taking her though. An old research lab posing as a science museum. Surprisingly, it's actually the place where Shin was raised, and more importantly, where he awakened his supernatural powers, which might explain why they're after him. Back at Sakamoto's shop, the newly recruited Heisuke stumbles upon Hana, Sakamoto's daughter, upset because everyone's gone, and in order to cheer her up, he promises to go find them and bring them home. And frankly, as Sakamoto and Shin approach the giant faux museum, as much as they don't already know it, they could definitely use that extra help for what's in store for them. Hey guys, thank you all so much for watching all the way to the end. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, definitely feel free to leave a like and comment telling me how much you want the next part. Make sure you check out one of the previous parts if you haven't already, or an end screen if you want to continue your binge from another one of my videos. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.